The question is, what does the closing process look like when it comes to selling your house? The closing process when it comes to selling your house is fairly simple, fairly straightforward, and it's fairly similar across all types of transactions. First, when you go under contract with a buyer for your home, you will be reached out to by the escrow company. The escrow company is a third party that handles the transaction and the closing process on behalf of buyer and seller. You may hear the escrow company referred to as the settlement company, but they're the same thing. They're the settlement company, the escrow company, and usually there's an attorney involved within that escrow company that's helping make sure the contract is legal, binding, and then helps that transaction close at the end of the day. Once you go under contract with the buyer, that contract, the actual paperwork, will be delivered to the escrow company. The escrow company will then reach out to you to gather more information about you, your contact info, your legal names, and then also your bank account info, because at the end of the day, they want to be able to wire the proceeds directly into your bank account. Now, once you reach a few days prior to closing, the escrow company will again reach out to you, schedule an appointment for your signing. The signing will actually take place in person. Now, these days, escrow companies can send a mobile notary to your home or wherever you're living to sign the paperwork in person. This extra paperwork is what we refer to as the closing document. So you've agreed to and signed the contract with the buyer, but now you're going to sign the official closing paperwork to say, let's move this process towards closing. Most of the time, that signing day is 1 to 2, maybe 3 days prior to your actual closing date. So what happens is you sign the closing paperwork. Escrow then takes that closing paperwork, shuffles it around, and does their final calculations. And then a day or two later, you officially close on your property. If you've agreed with the buyer that they can take possession of your home on the day of closing, then you will have already moved out of your property, or you're moving out during that closing day, handing over the keys to the new buyer and the new owner, and waiting for escrow to call you at the end of the business day to say that your house is officially closed. Most of the work for you as it relates to the closing process is done a few days ahead of time, and on the day of closing, it's pretty simple and it's pretty calm, and there's not a whole lot for you to do on that specific day. Thank you so much for watching. Catch us on the next video. If you're ready to get the process started, head on over to SoldSimpleSeattle.com, fill out that form, and let us know that you're ready to sell your house, and we'll be in contact with you in 24 hours. Thank you so much. Catch you on the next video.